Welcome to Inside Insights, your quick hit of tips, tools, and trends for manufacturing, distribution, and Dynamics 365 Business Central, brought to you by InsightWorks.
Picture this scenario for a second. You were standing right there at a parts counter, like maybe it's a plumbing supply store,
Right.
or an auto parts dealer.
Yeah, we've all definitely been there.
Right. You've got this broken, greasy, mechanical fitting in one hand, you're clutching your phone in the other hand, and you are just waiting.
And waiting.
Exactly. And across the counter, the staff member trying to help you is just frantically clicking away. Like you can literally hear the mouse hammering the desk.
Oh, yeah. The stress of that clicking sound.
It's the worst. They are buried like 3 screens deep into some incredibly complicated back-office software system, just looking at rows and rows of tiny text, trying to confirm a very basic piece of information.
Just trying to figure out, do they actually have a replacement item in stock?
Exactly. And it is an incredibly stressful situation for everyone involved, especially because you, the customer, can totally see the line forming behind you.
The line is physically growing. You can hear the people behind you shifting their weight.
The loud sighs.
Yeah, the size. And eventually someone at the back of the line just gives up, turns around, and walks out the door.
Which is exactly what we are looking at today. Because if you repeat that specific moment, that customer just giving up across an entire day, you start to see exactly where parts counters and trade desks are, quietly but consistently losing sales.
It is friction at the absolute worst possible time.
Right. Which is exactly why you are here with us today. Welcome to this deep dive. Our mission today is to explore a really fascinating article detailing how to optimize Dynamics 365 Business Central for point of sale.
Specifically, using a solution called Counter Sales, which is developed by InsightWorks.
Yeah, so the whole goal we are unpacking today is figuring out how to bring actual lightning-fast retail speed to a system that was fundamentally built for the back office.
Because that tension right there between the back office and the front counter, it really is the core issue for a lot of distributors and wholesalers.
Right, because they have these incredibly powerful enterprise systems, but they're deploying them in an environment that demands instant action.
Exactly. It's a mismatch of tools and environments.
It really is. Using a massive back-office accounting software to ring up a line of waiting retail customers is, well, it's essentially like trying to use a complex, multi-tabbed financial spreadsheet to send a quick text message to your friends.
That is a great way to put it.
Right, like technically. Sure, it might be possible if you format all the cells just right and build a custom macro or something.
But it is agonizingly slow.
Agonizingly slow, completely unintuitive, and obviously just the entirely wrong tool for that specific moment in time.
Yeah. And to understand why this friction happens, we really have to look at what Standard Business Central actually is underneath the hood.
Okay, let's get into it.
So it is an enterprise resource planning system, or an ERP, and it's an incredibly powerful platform for an accounts team sitting quietly at their desks.
Right, the key word there being quietly.
Exactly. It handles complex business logic, international tax compliance, and massive supply chain logistics beautifully. But doing anything in it demands multiple deliberate steps because it requires pristine data.
Pristine data, yeah.
So creating a simple sales order means opening a specific document, formally identifying the customer in the database, searching through a massive item list, adding individual lines, and then finally running a posting routine.
Wait, let me jump in there. When you say posting routine, what does that actually mean in plain English? Like, what is this system actually doing?
Right, so a posting routine is basically this complex background sequence where the system officially records the sale.
Okay.
It doesn't just print a receipt, you know? It updates the general ledger, it ensures the debits equal the credits.
Oh, wow. So it's doing real accounting work right then there.
Exactly.
Okay.
It adjusts the inventory valuation, it triggers supply chain reorder parameters, and it logs the tax liability. It is just this massive mathematical orchestration.
That sounds incredibly heavy.
It is. So standard ERP interfaces practically demand a quiet office and a hot cup of coffee to ensure you enter everything perfectly.
Right, which is the exact opposite of a retail counter.
Exactly. It is not built for a salesperson standing face-to-face with an impatient customer who just wants to buy like a $10 pipe fitting and leave.
Yeah, that architectural reality obviously creates massive structural bottlenecks when you try to apply it to a fast-paced retail environment.
It really does.
It's just too heavy for the front line.
Yeah.
Because obviously no business wants their customers walking out the door in frustration.
No, of course not.
But to understand the cure we are talking about today, we first need to understand the side effects of the most common flawed remedy that businesses currently try to use to speed up that line.
Ah, yes. You're talking about the infamous bolt-on approach.
Yes, the bolt-on.
So the typical industry workaround mentioned in our source text is essentially bolting a completely separate point of sale or POS system onto Business Central.
Right.
They buy a dedicated retail software package for the cash register, something fast with big buttons, and they try to connect it to the Business Central software running the back office.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because on the surface, that actually sounds completely logical, doesn't it?
It does. It sounds like the perfect compromise.
Right. If a business already have a fast, dedicated POS system sitting right there at the counter, isn't that enough? Like, why does having two separate systems create such a massive headache for the business down the line?
Well, the headache comes from the disastrous downstream effects of trying to make two distinct, separate databases talk to each other perfectly.
Which is never as easy as they say it is.
Never. When you have a two-system approach, they usually rely on an API sync.
Okay.
Meaning every 5, 15, or 30 minutes, the cash register sends a batch of data to the back office saying, hey, here's what I sold.
Oh, I see.
It's essentially two databases playing an endless high-stakes game of digital telephone.
That sounds incredibly risky.
It is, and the primary casualty here is data integrity. The source material highlights this specifically. You get major inventory drifts.
Wait, hold on. So you're saying, like, the website might tell me you have the part, I drive 30 minutes to get it, and the guy at the counter realizes it sold an hour ago because the back office system hadn't caught up to the register yet.
That is exactly what happens.
Oh, man. That is so frustrating.
The front-of-house POS thinks you sold 5 items, but the back-office Business Central system hasn't run its sync yet.
Right.
So it thinks you still have them sitting in the warehouse.
Whoa, wow.
Yeah, you end up promising items to customers that physically do not exist on the shelf anymore.
That is a customer service nightmare.
And the financial side of the bolt-on approach is honestly even worse.
Wait, really? Worse than selling ghost inventory?
Yeah, because payments land in the retail system, but the actual sales records and the cost of goods land in the accounting system.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Reconciling those two sets of records becomes a daily nightmare for the accounting team.
Right. So you solve the line at the front door, but you create an administrative nightmare in the back room. You are essentially just moving the bottleneck from the salesperson to the accountant.
Precisely. You haven't fixed the problem, you just shifted it.
So if bolting on a second system inherently breaks the data, is the only alternative to just build a cash register directly into the accounting software's source code? Because that sounds like a developer's absolute nightmare.
Well, it is a massive challenge, but that brings us to the actual solution outlined in the text, counter sales.
A counter sales solution.
This is a solution built directly into Dynamics 365 Business Central by InsightWorks.
Okay.
The crucial distinction here is that it is native.
Native, not bolted on.
Exactly. It is not bolted on. It lives completely inside the existing architecture.
So no syncs.
No API sync. There is no digital telephone game happening.
Yeah.
The frontline worker and the back office accountant are literally looking at the exact same digital ledger cell at the exact same time.
Wait, I need to stop you there. Because if we are doing away with the dedicated retail software, doesn't putting massive enterprise accounting software on a cash register just guarantee a clunky, ugly interface for the cashier?
You would think so, yeah.
Right, because we just established that EOP systems are heavy and require a ton of deliberate steps. How does making it native actually speed up the line?
And that is the genius of the engineering here. They didn't just slap the ERP interface onto a monitor.
Okay.
They built specialized, streamlined overlays like the Take Order Wizard that sit on top of the complex database.
The take order wizard.
Yeah. The source highlights how this wizard allows the counter staff to capture walk-in customer information with just a few quick keystrokes.
Oh, wow.
It records these walk-ins simply as contacts so the business can keep their purchase history. But crucially, it does this without forcing the staff to set up a full, formal customer record in the ERP.
Ah, so it's essentially a VIP FastPass lane for the data.
Exactly.
A FastPass. It allows a random walk-in customer to quickly buy a part without having to fill out the equivalent of a tax form just to get entered into the company's master database.
Right. Nobody has time for that.
Yeah, you get the data you need for purchase history and returns without the bureaucratic friction of setting up Net 30 payment terms and credit checks for a guy buying a single wrench.
Precisely. And to address your concern about the clunky interface, the text outlines a quick scan mode.
Okay, what does that do?
Instead of the salesperson manually clicking through drop-down menus or typing in long item numbers, this mode allows them to build the entire order using a standard USB barcode scanner.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it mirrors the speed of a traditional grocery store checkout, but it is operating natively within an enterprise resource planning environment.
What's fascinating here is how elegantly this bridges two completely different worlds.
It really does.
Like, on one side, you have the rigid, incredibly hungry accounting ledger in the background that demands perfectly structured data. Those massive posting routines you mentioned earlier.
Right, it needs that data to function.
And then on the other side, you have the frontline salesperson who just needs to move fast. So this system acts as a real-time translator.
That's a perfect way to look at it.
It feeds the back office everything it requires, the item codes, the cost data, the timestamps, the tax liabilities, without ever slowing down the transaction at the counter. It basically manages all that heavy mathematical orchestration silently in the background.
Exactly. It translates the retail action into accounting language instantly. It is a brilliant masking of complexity.
I love that phrase, masking of complexity.
Yeah. But, speeding up the software interface with barcode scanners is really just a great first step. What happens when the real world inevitably throws a curveball at the counter?
Oh, there's always a curveball at the counter.
Right. Let's say a customer walks in from a job site. They don't have a barcode. They just have a completely unidentified, greasy, dirty part that they drop right on the desk.
Oh, the classic counter scenario. The guy says, I need one of these, but slightly longer. And the counter rep has to play detective. Actually, the source brings up this very specific scenario. A customer dropping an unlabeled fitting on the counter.
So common.
In a traditional ERP, if you don't know the exact, the exact internal part number, you are basically flying blind, right?
You are entirely stuck. Standard enterprise software expects you to know the primary key, the exact item number.
Wow.
If you don't, you are clicking through thousands of rows of inventory manually.
Which takes forever.
Exactly. But Countersales addresses this with an enhanced item search.
Oh,
It allows the counter staff to find products using virtually any combination of data points. It indexes multiple fields across the database.
oh, that is smart.
So they can search by partial terms, specific physical attributes, cross-references from different manufacturers, or even just a partial serial number.
See, here's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
Because Business Central is an enterprise system, right?
Right.
So it might hold inventory data for a massive company with warehouses all over the country.
Oh, easily.
So when a staff member is checking stock for that random fitting across a whole company, how does the system prevent them from going on a wild goose chase?
That is a great question.
Because you don't want the system confidently telling the cashier, yes, we have 3 of those in stock, only to realize the inventory is sitting in a warehouse 3 states away when the customer needs the part right now.
Yeah, that's not helpful at all. So it handles that through a highly targeted price check feature.
Okay.
First, it instantly returns customer-specific pricing. This is vital for trade desks that have different negotiated discount tiers for different contractors.
Which a basic retail POS struggles to handle, right?
Exactly. Basic systems can't handle complex tier pricing. But to answer your question about the wild goose chase, it utilizes a My Locations list.
My locations.
Yeah, it restricts the staff's view of on-hand availability to only nearby geographically relevant stores.
So it filters out the noise. They only see the few branches that are actually worth checking for a customer standing right in front of them, rather than scrolling through every single location in the entire corporate network.
Right. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it demonstrates a fundamental principle of good software design.
Which is?
The difference between accurate data and actionable data.
Oh, that's a good distinction.
Yeah, giving a counter worker a list of 50 warehouses showing exactly where every single bolt is located is technically accurate.
Sure.
But in the context of a retail transaction, it is practically useless and overwhelming, giving them only the 3 stores within a 20-minute drive. That is highly actionable intelligence.
Okay, so let's walk through it. The staff played detective. They found the obscure part using the enhanced search. They verified the stock at a local branch using actionable data, and they made the sale quickly.
Customer is happy.
The customer is thrilled. But let's shift gears to the underlying mechanics of the business itself. How does the system handle the actual money, the physical hardware, and the realities of shift workers ringing it up? Because, honestly, I noticed something wild in the source text regarding licensing.
Oh, the shared registers.
Yes. It notes that counter sales, allows multiple people to work at a single shared register.
It does. A single physical terminal can be used by an entire shift of workers.
Wait, so multiple people use one physical terminal, each just identifying themselves per transaction to track who sold what.
Right.
But the business doesn't have to buy a full, expensive Business Central software license for every single part-time shift worker.
That's correct.
That seems like a massive loophole, or rather an absolutely incredible cost saver for the business. Like, why is that such a big deal?
It is a massive advantage because of how enterprise software is typically monetized. ERP licenses are comprehensive.
Right.
They give a user access to vast amounts of the company's operational capabilities, and they are priced accordingly. They're very, very expensive.
Right, you don't want to buy that for a part-time cashier.
Exactly. So by utilizing shared terminals where staff simply punch in an ID to identify themselves for a specific transaction, the business gets full traceability and auditing capability for every sale.
Oh, wow.
They know exactly who sold what, when, and for how much. But they bypass the heavy overhead of licensing every single part-time counter employee as a full ERP user.
That structural cost saving alone is huge for a business.
Massive.
And once the user is logged into that shared terminal, how flexible is the actual payment process? Like, do they have to jump out of the system to run a credit card?
Not at all. The flexibility is actually a major focus of the source material. Counter Sales accepts multiple payment types per single order.
Nice.
A customer can easily split a single transaction between cash and a credit card without crashing the system.
Which happens a lot in older systems.
Oh, all the time. It also supports fully integrated credit card processing for card-present situations, meaning the physical terminal talks directly to the software.
Okay.
It supports save card profiles for repeat contractor customers and even handles phone orders securely.
And because it's integrated, how does it handle the massive headache of security compliance? Because honestly, storing credit card data inside your own accounting software sounds like an auditor's worst nightmare.
Oh, yeah. But the integration is designed specifically to avoid that liability. The credit card data is securely stored by the payment processor itself, not inside the Business Central database.
Oh, thank goodness.
Right. This minimizes the security, liability, and PCI compliance burden for the business while keeping the workflow completely seamless for the cashier.
That makes perfect sense.
Furthermore, the system smoothly handles deposits to cover layaways and special orders.
Oh, layaways.
Yeah.
The old process for layaways usually involved like a messy manual ledger book or just a bulletin board covered in sticky notes in the back room.
Exactly. I've seen those sticky notes.
It's terrible.
But here, the system properly calculates and captures the tax on those deposits immediately, and then it applies that deposit cleanly against the general ledger when the final order is actually fulfilled weeks later.
So it automates the entire accounting life cycle of a delayed purchase.
Yes, exactly.
But what about when things go wrong? Like a customer brings a part back, they're annoyed, and they just want their money back. I know from personal experience that processing a return in a standard ERP usually requires like a degree in accounting to manually reverse engineer the original sales order.
It really does. But Counter Sales keeps it entirely in the exact same fast flow using a return wizard.
A return wizard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The staff member doesn't have to manually hunt for the original order or type in weird negative quantities.
Oh, that's a relief.
They simply pull up the original order right from the customer's receipt barcode.
Boom, done.
From there, they can process a straight refund, they can do a refund combined with a replacement order in one seamless motion, or they can issue a store credit that is immediately applied as a deposit on a brand new order.
Wow, that is incredibly flexible.
It is. Counter Sales manages all the intuitive, fast steps at the counter, while Business Central standard sales return functions handle all the complex accounting reversals underneath automatically.
Which leads us perfectly to the end of the day. The doors are locked, the lights are dimmed. It is time for the dreaded end-of-day cash count.
The worst part of retail.
Truly. You mentioned earlier how the bolt-on systems turn this into a nightmare of reconciliation. If the systems aren't synced properly, you have an exhausted employee at 6 p.m. staring at a pile of receipts, just trying to figure out why the register says one thing and the computer says another.
A tale as old as time.
Right. So what is the alternative here?
The alternative is automated cash drawer reconciliation.
Okay.
Think of it like having a robotic auditor sitting silently inside the cash drawer all day, During closeout, the system directly compares the physical counted denominations of cash against the exact recorded sales for that specific drawer.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And it doesn't rely on a batch sync. It just queries the database directly.
Because it's native.
Because it's native. It then automatically posts any adjustments, along with the actual cash totals, directly to the general ledger. No exporting Excel files, no dual entry into a separate accounting portal.
But wait, what about the timing? In accounting, the data transaction posts is critical for closing the month, right?
Very critical.
So if a late night shift rings up a sale at 11:55 p.m., but the manager doesn't close the drawer until 12:15 a.m. the next day, doesn't that completely throw off the daily financial reporting?
That is actually one of the most crucial details mentioned in the text.
Really?
Yeah. The system automatically handles posting dates. It has logic built in to move the posting date forward during closeout if necessary, or restrict postings to specific periods.
Oh, so it catches that midnight crossover.
Exactly. This ensures that yesterday's late-night orders do not accidentally post to the ledger with the wrong calendar date.
That is huge for the accounting team.
It keeps the books pristine, completely eliminating the need for human intervention or, a tired 19-year-old trying to manually adjust accounting periods at midnight.
So what does this all mean? When we zoom out and look at all these features combined, the native integration, the fast UI, the search functions, the automated reconciliation, what is the ultimate takeaway for you, the listener, and your business?
Well, the source breaks the benefits down into two distinct categories, the end users and the implementers.
Okay.
For the actual counter staff, the people on the front lines taking the brunt of the customer frustration, it means drastically less friction in their day.
Which is everything.
It is. It means faster checkouts, significantly fewer frustrating inventory lookups, and an end-of-day cash count that essentially reconciles itself. It turns a highly stressful job into a smooth, manageable one.
And for the Microsoft partners out there who make their living setting these complex systems up for clients.
For them, it provides a highly deployable, native point-of-sale solution that they can confidently bring to their distribution, manufacturing, and parts counter clients. They can finally deliver true retail speed without the massive ongoing headache of trying to integrate, maintain, and support a separate third-party platform that constantly breaks.
So everybody wins. Both sides get one unified system, one single set of reliable numbers, and a retail counter that actually keeps up with the customer in front of them.
Yeah, a unified front.
Now, if you want to see exactly what this looks like in practice, the source article recommends exploring the walkthroughs and full feature sets over at countersalesfordynamics.com.
Highly recommend checking that out.
And of course, the next step is to talk to a Microsoft partner to get a tailored demo that fits how your specific counters and stores actually run in the real world.
This raises an important question, though, as we look at the rapid evolution of these enterprise platforms.
What's that?
Well, if true native integration completely removes the friction between back-office accounting and the front sales counter, basically proving that we don't actually need separate software for separate tasks, could this same single system philosophy eliminate bottlenecks in other historically isolated departments?
Oh, wow. Like where?
Think about warehouse logistics or complex field service operations out on the road. Are we rapidly approaching a future where the entire concept of syncing two different software systems via APIs is viewed as an outdated, clunky technological relic?
That is a fascinating thought to chew on. I mean, the days of the nightly batch sync and the digital telephone game might finally be numbered.
We can only hope.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We hope it gave you some valuable insights into optimizing your operations. Keep learning, keep questioning the systems you use every day, and here is hoping the next time you find yourself standing in line with a broken part in your hand, the person across the counter has exactly what they need to get you out the door fast.